Jesus Christ, really?
Don't forget to become a member of UnrealEntGaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Seth?
I already joined his Patreon today. Tons of great stuff on there, actually. But did you really have to blow up the city?
Yes.
Blew up the domino. You blew up the dominoes and you're laughing. Do you realize the f***ing crisis here?
And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
Well, this was certainly a surprise, especially since Goku decided to go and do the one thing that myself and Lord Beerus had advised him not to do, and that's gauge his opponents first, especially if they're on the same level as Lord Reno. And since Goku didn't have enough time to stabilize himself in drawing his Ultra Instinct out and onto the surface before he was crushed by Lord Reno, I wonder what will transpire here next, especially with Lord Reno looking to take aim in getting his rematch with Lord Beerus.
Our story now continues following the initial battle involving both Universe 13's God of Destruction Reno and Super Saiyan Blue Goku. As with the newly resurrected God of Destruction now being shown having to address Beerus, it was only as he was now shown having to do so where Reno then went on to respond, "And here you call this your champion, Beerus? He couldn't even last 2 minutes against me, and yet this is who you want to put your faith in to represent you? You've lost your mind, Destroyer, and you might want to find another mortal champion to fight for you because he's not going anywhere," Reno continues. "And I hope you know that once my universe clears right through your fragile fighters, then that's when I'll go and clear right through you. Or do you still believe that you have the ability to use Ultra Instinct against me like how you assumed you could before and lost?" With Beerus responding, "Well, it's clear to me that nothing's changed since you and those other universes were erased, because you are just as arrogant as you were when we battled once before," Beerus continues. "There was still one more level of power that the mortal was about to show you, and you beat him down and broke him in two before he had the chance to even use it, Reno. And even though it may have been millions of years since you and I have battled, I haven't forgotten about how to throw you off your game and get the better of you, Destroyer. So there is no need to continue to engage with the Saiyan," with Reno then responding, "You mean like how you thought that this puny little creature who is lying broken behind me was going to do the same thing? You truly have lost your ways, and your careless nature by having such mortals on a divine rock such as this goes as far as to show for it, Beerus. Don't lie to yourself. Mortals are but fleeting moments in time, easily erased and easily dealt with just like him. And unless you plan on drawing forth stronger mortals to face mine, then you are as good as doomed, Beerus. Now what will it be?" With Beerus then responding, "You know what I think, Reno? I think that you are in way over your head here against my universe, and the fact that you clearly don't know who or what you're dealing with here speaks volumes on how long it's been since your glory in Universe 13. Oh, is that a threat, Destroyer? And so what if it was?" Beerus went on to then question. "If you feel so strongly about your superiority over me and my universe, then why don't you allow for the Saiyan to use his reserve?" "Why?" Reno questions. "Because I've seen all that I needed to see that comes from him, Beerus. And just so you know, you are very lucky that the other resurrected destroyers haven't come knocking on your door like I did. Because I'm sure that Cobras, Gardox, Ferrix, and the others would have done the exact same thing, Beerus. But you're on." With Beerus quickly responding, "Well, if they wish to find me, then they already know where I am. And so if this is what you truly want to do, Goku, then we accept as well and we'll meet you in the 13th to settle this once and for all. Good, that's exactly what I wanted to hear you say, Beerus. And do you want to know what else, you puny god? We should spice things up a bit since you seem to be so sure of your warriors on beating mine along with me. So how about this? With each warrior that loses their respective rounds, yours or mine are therefore erased as a result of their failure to win. So how about it, Destroyer? Make my day. With Whis then having to question, tell me something, sister. Does Lord Reno truly intend on destroying his warriors if they end up failing him during this universal contest? Does he truly wish to carry out these acts and wishes for Lord Beerus to do the same? With Angel Pinota responding, well, I can assure you that Lord Reno is not bluffing, Whis. His point must be and will be proven no matter the cost, especially if he wishes to best Lord Beerus in every way. Lord Reno has been waiting a very long time to best Lord Beerus in every possible way that he could, after all, Pinota continues. So it's best if Beerus agrees to Reno's terms if he wishes to not anger him any more than how he already has, Whis. Well, be that as it may, Whis responds, I don't think that Lord Beerus would go as far as to risk any of his best fighters, in case of course they are needed for something much bigger down the road, and well, I would advise against such an idea, but, well, if Lord Reno wishes to do as he chooses while competing against Universe 7's best fighters, then he may do as he just so pleases, sister. But having Lord Reno wipe away his top fighters in case they lose is not something that I would honestly recommend for him to do. But then, it was only to the shock and surprise of everyone there where Goku is now shown having to stand back up and having to address Reno by then responding, Wait, Lord Reno, there is more to our universe than you think that there is, and you can't just think that this is all that there is from us, but because even if you're a whole lot stronger than I thought you'd be, I'm not just going to back down, Goku continues. I promise that I could give you a good fight if you let me, because I still have one more level that I've yet to use that I think would be worth your while. So you're still breathing, Reno responds. Maybe I was wrong about you, mortal, or maybe I wasn't, and the fact that you still dare speak to me goes to show that I should have smashed you a lot harder than I did. How could you be this foolish as to still want to fight, Saiyan? What makes you truly believe that you and those like you from the 7th are any sort of match for me and my universe's top fighters? You are either dumber than I realized, or you and Beerus know of something that I don't, so which one of it is it, mortal? Oh, tread carefully with what comes out of your mouth, Goku. Do not assume anything less of this destroyer, especially if you know what's good for you. You are barely hanging on by a thread, and so don't dig your grave any deeper than it already is, Beerus responds, with Goku then chiming back in. You'd be wrong to think that we here in the 7th are so much weaker than you, Lord Reno, because that couldn't be further from the truth. And if you give me in the 7th a chance to show that to you, then maybe then you'll finally see on how wrong you are about us, with Reno then responding, and what could you possibly offer to show me outside of what you already have that will make any sort of difference? If my universe needs to crush you in order to get to Beerus, then that's exactly what Universe 13 and I are going to do, mortal. Now I ask you once again and for the final time, what could you and your pathetic universe of weaklings have to offer me? If not a good fight since I already bested you, then what? To which upon Universe 13's destroyer now being shown having to hold Goku up by the shirt was when Reno then went on to continue, you stand before a god of destruction beaten and broken, and yet you still have the audacity to speak? Need I remind you of who I am, mortal? Now tell me, because in all of my years of being a god of destruction, you are the first to be shown being this persistent even in defeat. You have this spark in your eyes, and I want to know why that is, Reno continues. Tell me what fuels it. Is it hope or mere stubbornness? This is your last chance to answer. And what I also want to know is what you and Beerus kept blabbing about when you mentioned something about having more power than what you were shown using. Now tell me what that hidden power of yours was, or I will destroy you on the spot. Well, actually, Lord Reno, the reason on why I'm telling you to not overlook back our universe so quickly is because some of us that are here while at our maximum and full strength can likely go toe-to-toe with gods of destruction, and the power that I was just about to try and draw back out and use against you was the full power of Ultra Instinct. But Reno was not having any of it, because with Reno now being shown having to toss Goku's body back down onto the ground was when Reno then went on to respond, a power that transcends the gods spoken of and wielded by a mere Saiyan? Nonsense! Don't make me laugh, mortal. Now get out of my face! How dare you disrespect me with such lies, you little worm? And for you to stand there and watch as he lies like this is a shame, with Beerus then responding, and what makes you think that he's lying, Reno? The Saiyan is actually telling the truth about what he knows, as sad as that is. If you honestly expect for me to actually believe that this little tiny man has achieved the power of Ultra Instinct, then you've lost your mind. But how are you so sure that I haven't learned how to use Ultra Instinct myself, Beerus? Remember that in our world, power is very relative, and today's so-called unbeatable techniques is tomorrow's ancient history. And if you think that I haven't learned a lot since our time fighting when we did, then you and your universe have another thing coming. So I wonder what would happen if you decided to try and use that again on me, only to find yourself at the mercy of my version of Ultra Instinct. Quite the frightening sight, isn't it? Reno continues. Your reliance on this mortal and his pathetic power will be your ultimate undoing, with Beerus then questioning, wait, say what? What do you mean by how do I know that you haven't learned how to use and wield Ultra Instinct? Surely you're not saying that you have it now, do you? But that can't be. You were just brought back, with Whis chiming in, well, that would certainly be news to the both of us, but I wouldn't be surprised if another destroyer had also learned how to use this power, Whis continues, as it most definitely would be a very interesting one to say the least. That's right, Beerus, we may have waged war a long time ago, but I haven't forgotten about the way you fought me, and the only other way that you and your universe will find out is once we start fighting. So you and your pathetic warriors have 24 hours to come up with a plan, because once we start and that bell rings, it's lights out for Universe 7, with Angel Pinota chiming in, do make sure to bring your two best, since Lord Beerus will be holding the third slot, which brings us to a total of 3. Lord Reno and his 2 warriors of choice against Lord Beerus, that mortal on the floor, and one more partner of your choosing, so I hope you understand, with Whis responding, well, I guess we're actually going to be going through with this then after all, now are we? Well, fair enough, getting a second warrior shouldn't be that hard for us here after all, with Goku responding, what exactly is your deal, Lord Reno? I'm not lying about my ability to wield and use this power, and I'm not trying to deceive you either, but if you want to still believe that I'm lying to you, then I'll gladly be the first to show you the true extent of what I'm really made of once our universes clash. And so you can doubt me as much as you want and drive me down into the dirt for as many times as you choose, but you'll soon see the undeniable truth once our universe defeats yours, Goku continues. A destroyer like you with power like that is just what I needed to see and experience to finally get me all fired up to fight. And though your grudge is mainly with Lord Beerus and not me, now make sure that the next time we fight that it'll be you who will be going down, with Reno responding, oh please, your false promises are just about to make me vomit, Saiyan. So, are we all ready to take our leave, Lord Reno? Angel Pinota chimes in. We'll go and gather 2 of Universe 13's best as we prepare for what is to come very soon, with Reno responding, yes, now let's. I've proven my point here, and so now we wait. But in the meantime, I'm going to take great pleasure in watching your warriors get torn apart out there, Beerus. You know what's coming, so don't think that I've forgotten. You owe me, and your debt must be and will be paid one way or another, whether you lose your strongest warriors in the process or not. It's bound to happen. So try and do your best to prepare, especially if you and I are granted the freedom to finally fight by the Grand Minister. 24 hours is all that remains. so you better make the most out of doing what you can with the little freedom that you have, because I'm going to crush you. So I'll be seeing you real soon, Destroyer. To which upon Pinota and Reno now being shown having to take their leave, it was only just as they were now shown having to do so where Whis went on to chime in. Oh, and there they go, my lord. Well, that was quite something now, wasn't it? And a very unexpected one, to say the least. Oh, I can't believe that they've all been revived, Whis. But how? Beerus went on to then question. Didn't that android ask the dragon to only bring back the destroyed universes that the Omni Kings were shown wiping out during the Tournament of Power only? Also, how are the others back? With Whis responding, well, no, actually. When Android 17 made the wish to restore the universes which the Omni Kings erased, he never really mentioned anything specifically, but rather spoke to the dragon in general and asked to restore all of the universes that were destroyed. And as for you, Whis went on to then continue, well, you should consider yourself very lucky that you aren't destroyed yourself, Goku. That was quite the call that you had there against Lord Reno, so let's patch you up. With Goku then responding, I just can't believe on how tough that destroyer was when I attacked him. It was almost like my attacks were like nothing to him and he just couldn't feel a single thing when I hit him. Well, although it's been a very long time since we've seen Lord Reno, Whis responds, from what I saw, he is still just as durable and just as strong as I remembered him being. And I can already also tell that you're bothered by this, am I right, Goku? Well, what's done is done, but since we already have you as one of our lead warriors, would you happen to know on who you'd like to choose as your ally in this upcoming battle, Goku? And I'm sure you must have a name in mind, don't you? So what's it going to be? With Goku then responding, well, durable is an understatement if we're putting it lightly, and if using Ultra Instinct is what it's going to take to win, then I have to try, but I'm not really sure on who we can go and get because, well, Vegeta said that he'll be going out with his family as well as training in the gravity chamber after, and for me to leave him alone, and so I really don't know where Piccolo is or what he's up to, nor have I heard anything on Android 17 in a while, and of course Broly would be a little too risky to bring into all of this since he really hasn't gotten around to control his powers, so I'm really not sure that we can find. But then, it was only just from out of nowhere before Goku could even go as far as to finish his sentence where Beerus then went on to shout, what do you mean you're not sure if you'll be able to find someone, Saiyan? Well, go off and find someone, because if we don't find a second mortal to fight on our behalf, then we forfeit. And since you kept running your mouth, you're one to talk because you should have went and used your Ultra Instinct against him, and instead of trying to measure up to him, you idiot, you embarrassed me, Goku! And so you better get on it and find someone who will join us, Saiyan. And for the record, you better not even think about trying to go out there and look for Frieza either. This isn't a game, Saiyan. I will not, under any circumstance, find myself losing to Reno whatsoever. Do you understand? Now start thinking of a plan. With Goku then chiming in, ouch! Take it easy, would you, Lord Beerus? I'm really trying to think about who to find, but I didn't think that it would be that hard just to find another person to join us. Hey, wait a minute, I got it, Goku then went on to shout. I think I have just the right guy in mind that would definitely be a difference maker in this battle with Reno's universe. So I'll just have to go and pay him a quick visit and see what he's doing and get him to train with me for a little while, and he'll be 100% ready to go against Lord Reno's best fighters, Goku continues. So I'll be back later. With Beerus questioning, it's Frieza, isn't it? Just say it, Whis. It's Frieza, isn't it, Saiyan? Who else could you possibly have in mind that would be of use to us? Well, I honestly don't think that it is Frieza, my lord, but I wouldn't rule Frieza out just yet, especially knowing with the way Goku carries himself, but we'll see. With Goku responding, I'll make sure to be back here within 24 hours as soon as we're done on Earth, and so don't worry. I don't think that he'll say no to a good fight, especially if it'll motivate him to get stronger, so in the meantime, I'll see you guys a little later on. To which, as Goku was then shown leaving, was when Beerus went on to chime back in, oh, I'm going to destroy him, Whis. It's Frieza. He's going to go and get Frieza. I just know that the idiot is. Oh, why can't they all just leave me alone instead of coming here? With Whis responding, well, even if he does get Frieza to help us, at least it's someone that we know that can last in a battle though, right, Lord Beerus? Well, I don't like our odds here, especially if that idiot's going to go out there and get someone who doesn't belong. But about Reno, Whis, do you think he's truly done it? Do you believe that he was actually able to somehow find a way to wield Ultra Instinct himself? Or was it all just a bluff, with Whis responding, well, I really can't say for sure, my lord, but it certainly wouldn't surprise me to see him actually pull it off in battle, but it kind of sounds as though you're nervous. Well, there's only one other way to find out, and so I hope you've kept up with your training, with an angered Beerus chiming back in. Are you mocking me, Whis? I'll have you know that I have been keeping up with my training, it's just that you've been a little too busy to even pay attention. And so whether Reno has the ability to use Ultra Instinct or not, I'm not going to allow for that stubborn destroyer to make a fool of me, with Whis responding, oh sure you have, Lord Beerus, sure you have, but whatever comes out of this, just do make sure that you're at least fully prepared in case you were to face Lord Reno again, with Beerus responding, and what exactly is that supposed to mean, Whis? I'm ready at all times, and so he will not be beating me. To which all the while, in the meantime, when then going back to Earth and seeing how Goku was now able to find Gohan, was when Goku then went on to chime in, oh yes, I knew you weren't busy. Hey Gohan, it's good to see you. Oh, what in the world, Dad? And just what are you doing here? With Goku responding, hey there Gohan, sorry to drop in from out of nowhere like this, but it's kind of a long story, and so me and Lord Beerus kinda need your help with something very important right now, and since, well, we are all basically out of options, you're the only one who doesn't seem to be doing anything, so if you maybe have some time to spare, and by some time I mean as in an entire day, then that would really be helpful since, well, our universe is in kind of a pickle right now and we kind of need you. But Dad, I'm doing something very important at the moment. I'm actually really busy with work, and so the company is calling for a meeting tomorrow, and I'm currently trying to structure my presentation so that way I can get that promotion that I've been working for. Well, that sounds great and all, Goku responds, but can that maybe wait for a little? We kinda need a second guy to go up against Universe 13. Universe 13? But aren't there only 12 universes? With Goku responding, well, yes and no. You see, little did any of us know that during the Tournament of Power, when Android 17 went and made the wish to restore the universes that were destroyed by the Omni Kings back to life, that he accidentally kept his wish very vague and ended up restoring the 6 previously destroyed universes that were wiped out millions of years ago. So this really strong Universe 13 destroyer came down onto Beerus' planet, and as a result, I fought him and, well, I lost, but it was only in the moment, and so anyways, I need your help because we're going to be waging a 2 versus 2 universal tournament against the 13th, with both Lord Beerus and Lord Reno as the final boss warriors for us to face. So are you in or what? With Gohan responding, wait, there's going to be a what? Oh, this all sounds like a really bad idea, Dad. And since when did you get off just randomly fighting against other gods of destruction from out of nowhere like that? Oh, you know I have to do this, Dad. Oh, is Earth at risk if I say no? Because this always tends to happen when I least expect for it to happen, and you know how Videl is going to feel if she found out that I missed out on work just to go fight a resurrected destroyer, Dad. So is this really that urgent? With Goku pleading, oh please Gohan, I promise that I'll make it up to you whenever I can, but yes, I think if we decide to sit this one out, then it could cost us everything, so I promise that it won't take long, so please Gohan, you're the only person that I can count on to do this. With Gohan responding, well, after what we just went through with Moro and his gang of thugs a few days ago here, I'm sure as hell not going to risk having something happen to this planet again like that, so alright Dad, but you'll have to fill me in on all of the details so that way I can make it back in time so I can turn in my report. In which upon with Gohan being shown having to agree when then going back onto Beerus' planet was when Whis then went on to ask, is something troubling you, my lord? You seem a little irritated. With Beerus responding, that's because I am. It wasn't that long ago since the Omni Kings held that Tournament of Power, which ultimately makes me wonder on what those other destroyers are secretly planning. And with Reno mentioning Cobras, Gardox, and Ferrix, you know that there's bad blood between us all, and so I have a bad feeling about this. With Whis responding, well, I can understand your frustration after learning of their revival, my lord, but I don't think that you should worry yourself too much and focus on Lord Reno for now. And if the other destroyers were to arrive, then we'll deal with that situation when the time calls for it. But for now, it's best we make sure that this is taken care of before anything else. To which it was only right then and there within that moment where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super story of the Resurrected Gods of Destruction, the Universe 13 Saga Manga Chapter number 3 special then comes to a close. Now you can make no mistake about the fact that with this upcoming exhibition event scheduled between Universe 13 and Universe 7, will it only be something very remotely similar to what had transpired during the events of Universe 7 versus Universe 6, except this time, this is only going to go as far as to involve 2 warriors on each opposing team to battle against the other, in which all of this, including 2 additional episodes, will be made available right now on my Patreon for those of you out there who are members to see. So if you would not only want to support the fan manga content that you see on this channel, including myself, as well as also gaining additional access and content along with my art, PNG, soundtracks, and so much more, then I would kindly encourage for you guys to become a member of my Patreon today, patreon.com/UnrealEntGaming, to which I will go on ahead and leave those links located down in the description box below and pinned comment section below as well, because on top of everything else, I've been saying this now for quite some time, this story, the one that you guys are seeing right now, as well as many of the other stories that you're going to see on this channel, are going to directly tie into the events of what is about to transpire in the top 5 strongest in the multiverse sequel, to which of course if you want additional information and context to this, I will go on ahead and also leave a comment down below, so that way you guys can understand timeline placements and everything that's about to transpire moving forward, including, for those that are already members of my Patreon, I had gone as far as to post a very early roster update to show you guys what the Tournament of Power 2 is going to look like. So all I can really say by the end of this is just give me some time to cook, and I promise you guys that I will give you my absolute best. So again, I want to thank you all so much for watching, and thank you all so very much for your time, to which once more, if you also just so happen to be new to this channel, then I do encourage for you guys to head on over and smash that subscribe button on top of giving this video a big fat thumbs up by smashing that like button down below. Tune back in for more because we have so much more coming your way, and with all that being said, I will be seeing each and every single one of you down in the comment section below and in the next video. Take it easy everybody and have a great day. Peace!
Hello! Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to UnrealEntGaming?
Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch.
Roshi!
Silent Cell, me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? You dirty bitch.
Roshi, the fuck?
God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell.
And we're demonetized.
Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.